hey, entrepreneurs, welcome back to another episode of Social Media for Bosses, the place where we're creating profitable businesses through smart social media marketing. And I have a question for you guys. Are you running Facebook, Instagram, YouTube ads? Are you using these to market your business? But more than that, are you aware of how expensive these things are? They can add up, especially if you're consistently running these ads. They can really start to cost you a lot of money. So how do you actually go about budgeting within your business to make sure that you have enough to cover these ads to grow your business? Because, we need money to make money. Well, today we are talking all about how you can be budgeting for social media ads. And we have a special guest joining us today. She is a financial coach. Her name is Kimberly Graham. She's going to be answering all of your questions live and bringing you details on how you can be budgeting within your business to make sure that you are able to run your social media ads. Super excited to see all of you who are joining us live. You can drop your questions and comments right now live. We will get to as many as possible while we're on air. And if you're on our replay, we will be monitoring those questions and comments. We might just be able to get Kim back soon. So make sure you are letting us know your questions while we are here hanging out live. And before we jump into today's show, I did want to give a quick shout out to some fabulous people hanging out with us on social media this week. Girls with the Curl says, "You're so awesome at live streams." Well, thank you, friend. I appreciate the love. We are hanging out with Dr. Lara. She says, "Wow, great topic. I'd never considered doing lives, but now it's one to consider. Thank you for your insight." We are hanging out with even more fabulous people over on YouTube. And if you are here hanging out with us on YouTube, make sure you hit the subscribe and notification bell so that you get all of our tips, just like David, who says, "Great tips, new sub right here." Well, David, we are excited to see you. Thank you so much for subscribing. We can't wait to see what you're going to do with these tips in the future. Sabine is here. She has great questions and answers, loved it, and took lots of notes. Girl, you are my note taker, and I appreciate you showing up to all of these episodes. I'm so glad that you're finding this helpful. Thank you for your kind words. We also got a shout out from the fabulous Be Live today. This week we've been talking all about how you can schedule live broadcasts on YouTube through Be Live with customized branding, just like I've got right here on screen right now, all this cool stuff. And they said, "Thank you for this amazing video. You are the best." Well, Be Live, you are also the best. And we appreciate you hanging out with us. As always, if you want more tips for using Be Live, you can check out my videos and you can check out their blog where I did a full series on how to live stream on YouTube through Be Live with optimization. It's pretty dang awesome, and you guys don't want to miss out. And Tamalia was also hanging out with us this week. She said, "Awesomeness. Thank you for all this info," as she was chatting about how you can leverage your live streams on YouTube with customized branding by scheduling your lives through Be Live. So we appreciate all of you hanging out here. We had all the fun talking about YouTube and live broadcasting, but we're not done yet, because tomorrow we're actually dropping a brand new episode for you guys right here within the group. You do not, or within the YouTube page. You don't want to miss out, because we're talking all about growing your YouTube with live streams. We're breaking down exactly how you can be doing that to up your game and kickstart your brand within YouTube. All right, are you guys ready? We are about to dive into today's topic. We are talking all about how you can save and budget money within your business to run your social media ads. And we are hanging out with financial coach Kimberly Graham. She is fantastic, and we're so excited to see you. Hi, Kim, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing great. How are you?
Good. Excited to have you here.
Good.
So tell us a little bit about your business.
Well, I am a work-at-home mom. I have a business called KG Financial. And what I do is I help people organize their budgets. I help people organize their day-to-day budgets. A lot of people confuse me with a financial advisor, which is for investments. That's not what I do. I handle the everyday expenses and make sure that you're organizing them in a way that maximizes your future.
Fantastic. And we are so excited because you're doing all sorts of really cool things. You've got courses. That was really hard. Sorry. You've got courses, you've got personalized coaching, all sorts of amazing things. And we're going to be chatting all about what you are doing within your business in today's episode. If you're joining us live, we want to hear from you. Give Kim a shout out in the comments and drop your questions for her right now. We're going to get as many answers as possible as we dive in and talk all about ads. And if you stay to the end, we have a bonus. You don't want to miss it. It's really good. So stay tuned. Going to be fun. So Kim, let's talk a little bit about ads. What is the first thing we need to know?
So ads are super expensive. And if you are just starting out your business and you're trying to get more eyes on your business, it's really important to make sure that you're kind of like adding that into your budget, especially if you're starting your business and you're like, oh, I really want to make sure I get my name out there. If you don't have a following, ads are a really great way to kind of get yourself out there. However, you do want to make sure you're doing it in a smart way, because the last thing you want to do is to go into deep debt into starting your business. You want to make sure that you're kind of leveraging what you're already bringing in. So I have some tips for you guys today of how that you can kind of get some budget aside so that you can actually start creating ads to get more eyes on whatever your content is.
This is really exciting. So if you guys have questions, now is the time. Get it in. All right, what do we got?
So first off, think about what ads you want to run. There are several different types of whether you're doing Instagram or Facebook, any types of ads. There's some that run for a long period of time, some of them that run for a short period of time. You can be very narrow about who you want to focus on, if you want to focus on a specific niche or if you want to do a more broader scale. There's a lot of, it's very user friendly. Like when you try to do an ad, they'll tell you like what types of interests that you want to focus on. They'll talk about like what type of demographic you're looking at, which is really helpful if you're a newbie and you're trying to figure it out. But it also will tell you how much it will cost, which is great because if you're trying to budget it, this gives you a really good understanding of like, I only have $50 that I want to spend, and I want to make sure that I, try something and see what happens. Now you want to make sure that you don't get into debt over advertising. And you also want to make sure that you are thinking about your return on investment. So like if you're putting in $50 and you try it out for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and you notice that you're not really getting a ton of feedback back from it, then take a step back, try a different angle, try a different interest, try a different niche, and go from there, and then try it again. But it's really a good idea not to like put your whole like savings of your business into these ads. You want to make sure that you kind of have a good amount put aside for it. So the first thing you want to do is organize your funds. Okay. So if you are trying to figure out, you're like, okay, I want to make sure I have maybe $100. I don't know, however much it is, play around with the ads, see how much it's going to cost for whatever you're looking for. The first thing I would say is to find some seed money for it. So one of the first things that I go for is selling stuff in my house. Which I know it sounds crazy, but like I'm sure there's some things in your house that might be really valuable to someone else that you don't really use anymore. That's a really great way to kind of get some seed money without going into debt. Another thing that you can do is if you have something that you are a product that you can sell that doesn't have a big, huge overhead that you can make a good profit on, go ahead and start selling those things now and try and get some sales in, and then put that money aside that you're using specifically for ads. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I wanted to ask, you mentioned selling things is actually a really good way of kind of grabbing some extra money, making sure you were ready with this. And I know that you've actually done this yourself. So can you give us a couple of little tips on how you might actually go about doing that to get that extra money?
Absolutely. So I've sold a lot of things. Just to give you a quick little backstory, my husband and I are really into budgeting. That's kind of how I got into this thing. It's something that's like a passion project for me. I love helping people with finances because when my husband and I first got married 8 years ago, we got our, student loans, which I'm sure everyone can attest to, that they get their student loans in and they're like, what in the world is going on? It was like $76,000, and it was really something that crippled our family. And so we found out how to get on a budget and then got on this huge grind where we just wanted to get rid of it. And that's where the idea of, okay, we need to sell things. Like we don't need these things. We don't need everything that we're looking at. So just go around your house, make piles. Have you heard of KonMari? Like this is a great time to use it. Have a yard sale, just sell things and you can sell them. Facebook Marketplace is a really great place to sell things. Every single thing I've put on Facebook Marketplace, I've been able to sell within 10 minutes, like no joke.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a really great platform for sure.
That's really good to know. Wow. Okay.
Yes, for sure. I mean, little things like hangers, like plastic storage drawers, like anything. Vice versa, if you're looking for cheap things, easy to buy stuff off there too. But anyway, so yeah, things of that nature. But also another great thing that I'll just add in there is don't be afraid of like getting a quick side job. If you're really passionate about whatever your business is, continue to be passionate about that. Doesn't mean that you're giving it up forever, but getting a quick side job, like if you know of a place that's just looking for someone to mop floors at night, that's a real easy gig that you can kind of pop in your tunes and listen to a podcast or whatever, or listen to you and your show
Yeah,
And
I was gonna say, we got the podcast and the shows for you.
there you go. And you can just like easily sweep and all that stuff and get a good $50 out of it. You know what I mean? Easy ways to just get some quick cash so that you can put it towards the things that you care about for your business.
Fantastic. I love it. Guys, if you've got questions or if you've got tips for how to sell things to make money to then spend on your ads, please let us know. We would love to hear from you guys. Let's start a conversation down in the comments below because we're chatting all about how to budget within your business to make sure that you can pay for those ads to make more money for your business.
Yes. So another thing that you can do as, from getting extra sales, selling things in your home, and all that good stuff, you want to make sure that you put it in a separate bank account because here's the thing. We are human, and when we see money in front of us, we kind of want to go after it and touch it. We're like, I must have the money. And so one of the things that I always tell my clients to do is to find a separate bank account. One of my favorite bank accounts to use is Capital One 360 because it's free. They have $0 and you don't pay a penalty on it, which I think is really great. Yes. Because yes. And a lot of banks will actually charge you, if you have a certain balance, they'll charge you for that. And so that's just ridiculous. Like a bank is there to hold my money. So finding different bank accounts that will actually hold your money without any penalty is really important. So that's what I tell my clients to do, like put it to the side and don't touch it. And when it gets to the point where you're like, okay, I'm selling things, I'm ready to do some more things with ads. I'm maybe doing really great with, selling product and I want to push this course or push this product or whatever the case may be. Then you actually have a good savings account there that you can, have that you're like, all right, that money's coming from another bank account that I've set aside, not from my actual profit coming in from the sales that I've already made. So yeah, it's a good way to do it.
Hey, if you're joining us live and you are finding all the value in today's episode, make sure you are bringing your friends to the party. Let them know we're talking all about finances here today. You do not want to miss this episode. So share, hit the notification bell. You know the drill. Get your friends here. We are chatting and answering your questions. So if you've got questions, now is a great time to get those in there.
Mm-hmm. The last thing I'll say is to do your research. There's so many ads out there. There's so many different types of things you can use, different types of ads you can use that'll drive certain traffic to your product. So if you're a person who's a coach like me, you're going to be looking for a completely different group demographic. And you might do better with having a video ad, right? That might be better because then you can see exactly the type of value that I'm going to give to you, the value I'm going to give to, your clientele, and maybe if I'm focusing on businesses. But if you're a person that has product, you might want to do like the carousel, which gives you different pictures so that you can show the different types of things that you create. And so those are types of things that you can do to kind of make sure that you're getting the right traffic to your product.
Fantastic. I love it. So once you have your money ready to go and you've set it aside, what do you suggest we do going forward as we are paying for these ads? Do you have a strategic plan that you do it, or you just kind of see what works for you?
At first, it's really just kind of seeing what works because it's an experiment, right? Businesses are really great because you're going to try different things and you're going to see what works for you. So like you might find that, okay, if I put $50 in and I tried these things, maybe I tried like this demographic, this group, this range of people, this range of, you can even do it towards city and states and whatever. So if you do all of that and then you don't get a lot of return on investment, like I said before, you can kind of go back to the drawing board and say, okay, that didn't really give me the return that I wanted. Let me try something else. And as long as you have that little organized, like, a bank account or set aside that savings account for your ads, you can play with it because that money is designated for your advertisement. And that makes a huge difference because then you're not stressed about, oh my goodness, all of my money that I'm making is going towards ads, is going towards things and I'm not getting anything out of it. You're actually going to be able to put that money aside and say, this is specifically for this purpose so that I can try and see what works for me. And I'm still making money as well. I'm still making sure that I'm creating profit, getting, what I need for my family or whatever my needs are, but this is specifically for that experimental thing. So it's really just trying it. Sometimes putting more in there and asking it to go for a longer amount of time might give you a better return on investment. It depends on the niche that you're going for. It depends on the type of business you are. It really is catered to whoever you are.
Now, taking a step forward in your business, once you have that money ready to go and you are starting to invest into ads and you have seen some good income from this. What do you suggest in terms of how much of a percentage of your income should you be investing into your ads? Do you have an idea of this?
I do. Okay. And so a really great resource that I love to share with all of my clients, especially my small business clients, because a lot of people go into business because they're really passionate about something and they might really be good on the creative side of things. But that whole financial part is a whole different beast to deal with. So I really try to make sure my clients understand, like, you have to be on an organized fund with how you're using your profit. So what I do is I tell them to read Profit First by Mike. His name is so long and I always forget it. Mike Michalowicz is his name. So read Profit First by Mike Michalowicz. It's so great. And it really has the preface of making sure that you're thinking about paying yourself and then the rest goes to your expenses. And so what I tell my clients from this book, and you can change this however you feel like it, is to make sure that you are putting money aside for your rainy day funds. So like when you have a month that's lower, like that always happens, especially in retail, there's certain months that are lower than others. Especially, you might have a day or a month that you want to make sure that you spend more time with your family for whatever reason. It gives you a little bit of a buffer. So whatever profit you take in, 5% will go towards your rainy day funds, and that goes in a separate bank account. 50% will go towards yourself, which is really nice. And that's your salary. 15% will go towards taxes because you do want to make sure that you're being responsible as a business owner. And 30% will go towards those operating expenses, which can include your ads, which can include other things like if you have business cards, if you have materials that you need to purchase for whatever you're creating, that is what will go there. And I like to tweak it. It depends on what type of business you're in. You might want to tweak the percentages a little bit, but always make sure that you're paying yourself. Always make sure that you're putting a good amount of that towards, because you are the sole, proprietor. You want to make sure that you're paying yourself. That's really the most important thing. You're going to feel more fulfilled in what you're doing if that is happening.
And speaking of which, we actually have a little bonus for you. I'm really excited for this one because Kim is going to be joining us in just a few minutes inside of our Facebook group. You can go to group.kmrobinson.com and join us. We are doing an exclusive bonus training where she's going to be breaking down how you can be paying yourself as a small business to make sure that you are surviving in this world and not just pouring back into your business. So that is group.kmrobinson.com. Over on Facebook, come join us. As soon as we're done and we've wrapped up, we're bouncing over there, and we would love to have you join us in the members only group, which is a free group for you to join. Come, we would love for you to hang out. It's going to be all kinds of fun, and she's going to be breaking down everything you need to know about paying yourself as an entrepreneur. All right, I'm checking out the comments, and Amber would like to know, what's a good percentage to get back on your ads? Now, we will be having some marketing strategists join us to talk about ads in a few weeks, but Kim, what do you have for us?
Well, I don't necessarily have a specific percentage, but here's something to think about. If you put $100 towards your ads, and you have depending on how much your products are. So like, for example, I have courses, my cheapest courses are $29. And that's like a membership course. So if I have 2 or 3 people come for that $29 course, if I'm getting them for 6 months, that's a really good return on investment, So you really have to weigh it. How many people were coming back to you to purchase a product from that ad? And you'll be able to there's analytics that are going all behind that, the scenes. Whenever you look at YouTube or Facebook or Instagram, they'll tell you analytics of how your ads did. So if you got some feedback from it, even if it's visiting your website, I think that's really important, because so many people might think, well, nobody bought from that ad. But if you got a lot of traffic, then that you've got their attention. And as long as you can continue to pump out content, you're eventually going to get a paid customer. So there are different, there's not a specific percentage I can actually give, but definitely think about that. Did I get any attention from that? If you got some paid stuff, awesome. That's really great. And then you can definitely say that was a good ad and you can run it again.
Fantastic. And if you've got questions about actually running these ads and the return you're getting from them, stay tuned, because we do have some really cool people hanging out with us in the next couple of weeks and months. I cannot wait to let you know who these people are, but I can't tell you just yet. But stay tuned, because big things are coming and we're really very excited about this. Now, we are just about to wrap up. If you've got questions, now's the time to drop them. But Kim, before we let you go, can you let everybody know where they can find you on social media?
Absolutely. So you can find me on social media. I'm on Facebook and I'm on Instagram. On Instagram, you can find me at Kim_Graham_financial coach. And on Facebook, you can find me at Kimberly Graham Financial Coach, and you should be able to find my business page. And from there, you're going to get access to my YouTube channel, my website, all of my courses and content. And that's just like the easiest way to get in touch with me. Message me. I love being able to talk to people about if they have a little question here and there. I love being able to hang out with you guys.
Fantastic. And I know I've been watching, you're doing all sorts of fun things on social media, live broadcasts, you're chatting, you've got your husband on. It's fantastic. I love what you're doing in your business right now. So guys, make sure you go hang out with Kimberly Graham. She is super active on social media and you do not want to miss out on all of her great wisdom and knowledge. Kim, thanks so much for joining us. I appreciate you being here.
Absolutely.
We are going to bounce over to group.kmrobinson.com, which is our closed Facebook group for members only that you can join because you're a fan of Social Media for Bosses here. Right now, we are going to bounce over there in just a couple of minutes, and we are going to talk all about how you can pay yourself as a small business entrepreneur and make sure you're taking care of yourself and your business. And we want to make sure that you are with us for upcoming episodes of the show. We're going to be doing all sorts of fabulous things. So I want you to hit the subscribe and notification bell so that you do not miss out. Next week, we're talking all about how to avoid overwhelm while you are doing your social media marketing. So I'm bringing you 5 tips to make sure that you are not overwhelming yourself as you're working, because we know social media can be a lot. There's a lot that goes into it. There's a lot of platforms. It takes time, and we do not want to burn you out. So we're going to be breaking down exactly how to avoid that next week. Hit the subscribe and notification bell so that you do not miss out on all of the fun, and drop your questions, because every single Wednesday at 10 a.m. we do a live Ask Me Anything for 20 minutes where I'm answering your social media questions in real time. You do not have to wait for the videos, the courses, the webinars, the trainings, the extras. Come hang out. Hit the subscribe and notification bell every single Wednesday, 10 a.m. Eastern. And then every single Thursday at 3 p.m. Eastern, we are live with Social Media for Bosses talk show right here on the YouTube page, and the podcast with totally unique content comes out every single Sunday on all the main streaming platforms. Kimberly Graham, thank you so much for hanging out with us. I cannot wait to bounce over to our special training. Any last thoughts for our listeners?
No, I think that the most important thing that you can do is make sure that if you're in business, that you make sure you organize yourself and don't overwhelm yourself going in. You got to start slow to go fast. So as long as you are keeping yourself in a rhythm of what you're doing, you're going to be so successful. So I wish you all the luck.
Thank you so much. We appreciate you hanging out, and we are bouncing over to group.kmrobinson.com right now for all the fun. Come join us, and I will see you again for a new episode of Social Media for Bosses, the talk show, every single Thursday right here on youtube.com/KMRobinson.
Bye.